and welcome to Houston, Texas, home of the fourth biggest population in the United States. I'm Ed Cohen with the man of the people. He is Jay Williams.
All right, Ed, I see you. New York, L.A., Chicago, Houston right there. I'll tell you what else is big. Rocket Nation, and they're ready to rumble.
Taking over the globe and maybe taking over this game tonight. Jay, many saw this coming for the Rockets. Their goal was to seize home court advantage in the West. They did in the regular season. No one saw this coming from Indiana. The reason, Victor Oladipo.
And a lot of people in Indiana didn't even see this one coming, Indiana fans in particular, because they were throwing up an outrage for the fact that management got rid of the likes of Paul George, a perennial all-star. But Nate McMillan knew exactly what they were doing. You bring in a guy like Victor Oladipo, a guy who played at Indiana University that can get everybody else to buy in. And this team is one of the most efficient offenses due to the fact that they play fast, averaging 109 points per 100 possessions. That's the best offense they've had since their 1994-95 season.
Pacers fans came around. Jay, think about this. Nate McMillan, a stalwart defender in his days with Seattle as a player. Now his team, an offensive juggernaut as a head coach. Collison's shot won't fall.
And a lot of times in this league, teams take days off. But if this defense keeps maintaining that style of pace defensively, this is going to be a dogfight.
And they call it.
He took a chance. That's the right call.
Anthony. Inside, he scores. The challenge defending a guy who can be a 1 or a 2.
We're not old men talking about this game. We don't define players by positions anymore. Is he a 1 or is he a 2? No, he's James Harden. He is a scorer and an elite passer.
It's in the hands of James Harden. The Pacers come away with the steal. Oladipo lobs it up. Throws it down off the alley-oop pass. Jay, that's a strong connection.
And it's always about the play before the play. Look how the eyesight was able to connect between two players. We call that an eyesight contract. Because when you have a contract that's signed, sealed, and then delivered like that, that's how great plays are made.
Oladipo to Turner. Oladipo. They were all over Oladipo. Missed the shot. Deep left corner. Anthony. Where's the chatter? No one was even close to him. Jay, mixed opinions with Carmelo Anthony. How will you remember his career?
Well, as of right now, he's a catch-and-shoot type player. But for me personally, Carmelo Anthony will go down as one of the greatest isolation players of all time. Back in his Denver days, his earlier New York Knicks days, there was nobody better in an isolated set than CA.
Victor Oladipo missed it.
And there's always so much talk about defense. How about offensively? If you continue to attack that shooter, now you're making him work on the defensive end. That makes him take his legs away on the offensive end.
Paul to Anthony. Shot clock coming down to 4. Down to 3. Harden from the painted area won't go down.
You see, this is something that everybody has, but some people choose to use it or not. I'm glad you choose to use effort on getting around those screens.
Oladipo. That's good D. Shot no good.
And look, sometimes you don't have it going every single night. Maybe utilize yourself as a decoy and get some teammates involved with your passing.
And Carmelo Anthony, he won't miss those. Hits the wide open 3. Change of scenery, but how can Melo still impact a franchise?
It all starts with a mindset. It starts with embracing and accepting your new role. He is no longer a starter in this league. He's a guy that's going to need to be positive on the bench, bring in his shooting abilities off the bench, and also be a coach when he's on the floor. That's the next step in the evolution for Carmelo Anthony.
We get a whistle and a timeout for Houston as they'll go over some tactics now in this first quarter of play. D'Antoni going to make some moves and set his matchups. Rockets have the ball. Paul. with a drop step. Scores from the post.
This has been a good first quarter for him so far. That wasn't an easy shot, but he was able to knock it down and add to their lead.
To Collison. Shot from the lane won't go. With a drop step. On the follow. Way to stay with it.
You can finally see this team starting to get their rhythm and their groove offensively. This is a good run.
First foul in the last 2 minutes.
Paul. To P.J. Tucker. Got a piece of it.
Jumping out the gym right now, Ed.
Great anticipation. Indiana with the basketball. Victor Oladipo. Well, their first three, and they're right back in it within a possession in this first quarter.
Well, I don't want to live in the past, but if you got a couple of those to drop earlier, you could have had a nice lead. Now, we got a dogfight.
Tough-looking shot there. Still gets it to go down.
I don't know if the scouting report has made its way out here yet, but if anything, it says you need to not let him get that close to the rim.
Straight on three. At the buzzer. 1 quarter down. The Rockets with the lead. On to the second quarter. Neither team sees control in the first. Some interesting things, though, certainly on display.
Both teams are trying to feel each other out, but I like the aggression that both teams established in the first quarter. This is the first quarter league. The way you play in the opening minutes really sets the tone for the rest of the game.
To Paul. Fires the three. No good. That's great defense. Sabonis can't connect. Nene with the dunk. Jay, we're seeing more of the same to start the second.
It's called settle for more. Just because a defender gives you space doesn't mean that you need to take the jump shot. Keep attacking the rim. It will open up eventually.
Count it.
That's what I'm talking about, Ed. It's that simple. Put the ball in the bucket.
Here's Paul, controlling the offense. Finishing inside the paint on that one.
Ed, sometimes less is more. Keeping it simple is the best way.
Joseph with it. They trail by 7. Fires the three. Tire Paul across the timeline. They lead it. 4-point game.
Doing his complaining to the ref, complaining to each other. You're making the game uncomfortable. That's the mark of a good defense.
Gordon with it. Curling inside. Tough make through traffic.
Ooh, he teased me a little bit right there. But see, I like that. That's called a great entertainer. Always leaving me on the edge of my seat.
Now the Rockets will use a timeout as they'll make sure they're aligned here in a 2-point basketball game. Some lineup changes now for both clubs. To Anthony. Has a chance. Add 2 points to the board. Knowing Carmelo Anthony, the competitor, you know he wants to do the same things as he was doing 5 years ago. Can he?
Well, the answer easy is no. Your mind is telling you yes, but your body is saying the exact opposite. The next step for Carmelo Anthony is to understand that he needs to keep it simple. If he's a catch-and-shoot player, help provide spacing and open up that lane for other players to attack.
I got him.
Tucker. Pacers have it. Oladipo into the front court. Down 4. Lays it in off the alley-oop pass.
You know, when I sit down and I think about it, it really blows my mind at how far Depot has came over the past 3 seasons. That first stop in Orlando, I remember watching a kid who had crazy talent and at times showed glimpses of brilliance, but also was really inconsistent. But in OKC, though, something changed, and it had to be the influence of Russell Westbrook. When you're around a dude that plays with 110% every day of the week, that has to push you mentally to levels that you never experienced before. That was the first time in his NBA career that he played meaningful basketball. He played with a purpose. Now when I look at him, I see a refocus. I see the dedication to the game he loves. There's no doubt now that he is the leader of this franchise.
And he misses that one free throw. Paul into the front court. He'll run the offense. To P.J. Tucker. Almost, and he's not getting the call. It's Indiana basketball. A shot rejected by Capella. That one out of bounds off a rocket. They're going to make some changes with some new personnel on the floor. Young. And he's fouled. He's going to the line for 2.
Great job, Ed, by the shooter to create contact after the jump. That's how you get to the free throw line.
First one goes down. Goes 2 for 2. Harden with the basketball. Down just a couple. Harden to Anthony. Finish that. Beyond the arc for 3. And the Rockets clear the board. Slams it down. And there was no stopping him that time. He was ready right at the tip.
What a first half he's having. He came out of the gate, attacked, found ways to get to the rim. Now look how easy the game is coming to him.
Around the perimeter to Anthony. Had made his first couple, but he misses there. Anthony to Paul. Lets it fly from long range. So the first points for him in this first half, and he knocks it down for 3.
Yeah, they really need him to get going. Really surprised that none of his teammates have been talking to him. This is when he needs him the most. They have to uplift him, help him continue to be confident on the court.
Harden in possession. His guys should be able to get the final shot.
All right, set it up.
The shot rejected by Young.
That kid can block out the sun, Ed.
First half comes to an end. The Pacers have the lead. Intrigue to come in this second half. A 1-point game as we resume play here in the third quarter. To Paul. And a whistle.
Timing was just a tad bit off.
All set to go here in the second half. The third quarter is underway. Anthony. We get a whistle and a timeout for Houston as they'll talk things over in a 1-point basketball game. substitution being made in this one.
Number 2, Darren
Anthony to Paul. Trying to cash in. Shot by Paul, no good.
And you have to remember that your hand is part of the ball. There wasn't enough contact on that play for the refs to blow the whistle.
To Oladipo. Oh, Capella up to block it.
Just incredible timing on that swat.
Here's Paul. Brings it up the floor. The shot, no good by Harden. Oladipo into the front court. His guys lead here early stages, third quarter. Oladipo. Second effort. Nice touch around the basket with the tip.
No. See, this is where I lose my mind. If you have that height, you got to throw that one down with authority. Got to make that one.
Oladipo to Young. 4-3. Off the iron. No good. Harden with it up top. His guys down 3. Harden. Oh, he had him there for a second. No good. Defense catching a break there. Oladipo into the front court. Leads 3. The Pacers with 4 to shoot. The shot blocked by Anthony.
This game is all about playing mind tricks on people. The offense is more worried about getting their shot blocked than they are about actually making the shot.
No good and no foul.
And that's next level defense. The defender took away the pocket space of the shooter. Now, as a shooter, they shoot hundreds of shots each and every day from that pocket with consistency. Now you force them to change the angle or the positioning of that pocket, you're going to lower the chances of them making that shot.
Nothing going here on that drive. Oladipo shot misses. From long range. Not that time. And the defender over pursues, and he's called for it.
He took a chance. That's the right call.
The opposing coach is going to counter, make some changes of his own. Anthony. Oh, had him going there for a second. Harden to Anthony. Here's a chance from long range. Message received. Well defended.
Great contest by the D, but I want to see the coaching staff call the same exact play the next possession. Get that offensive player the ball. Let him prove that it wasn't the D. It was more in his own head.
Young. Can't get the bounce. And they call the foul. Careful there, Chick.
That's just a blatant foul. Maybe he's trying to make a statement.
That's his first personal foul. Team foul number 3. Indiana Pacers. And the penalty.
Paul to Harden. Nice swat that time.
And it's not just about blocking shots. It's about these guys off the screen, allowing you to catch up to the play defensively. That's why you're playing so well.
They get it down to Tucker. Inside, he scores.
As my mother would say to the defender, A for effort, F for results.
Oladipo to Young. To shoot for Indiana.
We switch.
Mike D'Antoni changing up his lineup. Houston with the basketball.
I got ball.
To Carter Williams. Shot clock, it's coming down to 4. Now down to 3. And they call the foul. Jay, he was there too late.
No, no, no. I'll tell you. The team that makes the little mistakes, like committing unnecessary reach-in fouls like that, will be the team that ends up with the L.
And he connects on the first free throw. And he makes them both. Into the front court comes Collison. They're down 3. Collison gets it to go. Coach cannot be happy with that closeout.
It's all about creating space with the dribble. Once you have that gap, you can beat somebody in a variety of ways. He chose the dagger with the 3.
Knocked loose. And that'll be out of bounds off of Oladipo. So the Rockets hold on to the basketball. Gordon shot, no good. Deep 3 at the buzzer. That'll do it. Third quarter complete. It's all even at the end of this quarter. All even through 3 quarters. Who can pull away as we get started here in the 4th? Pacers control. It's rejected by Tucker.
Blocking so many shots only gives your perimeter that much more confidence to really apply more pressure.
Nothing going here on that drive. Driving right to the basket. He takes it right at them and scores. You have to fill in there. Can only imagine how frustrating that is to stop.
It's beyond an arduous task for the defender. I'm getting frustrated even talking about it. Let me tell you 2 reasons why. Number 1, he's been top 5 in the league since the 2012-13 season in free throws attempted per game. That's pretty impressive. Will make any defender hesitant. And number 2, whenever the league implements a rule about you called the Harden rule for his knack for drawing cheap fouls, that's going to make any defender have a difficult time guarding Mr. Harden.
Through 3, that one off the mark. It's no good. Harden into the front court. His team up by 1. To Paul. Driving is Harden, but he can't get it to go down. Block shot.
Here's one of the biggest secrets as we move into this new age of basketball, especially in the draft room. You have to draft players with size and length. That's the biggest deterrent for any team offensively.
Tucker on the pass, stolen by Indiana. Collison into the front court. His guys now trailing by a point. Young to Evans. That's blocked by Capella. Scooped up, going the other way. To P.J. Tucker. James Harden trying to cash in and scores. Sometimes it looks like he's not locked in, but think otherwise.
Let's be honest. Sometimes he is not locked in when the ball isn't in his hands. But do you need James Harden to be locked in 100% of the time? No, you need him to be locked in 95% when he has the ball in his hands. That's when something spectacular is going to happen offensively for your team.
Runner's good there. The way he gets to the line, you have to respect every part of his game.
He is an occupational hazard for referees. He's the MVP of drawing fouls. He constantly baits the defender, which makes the defender's hands drop, which allows James Harden to drop buckets on you.
Collison, tough shot down. Collison off the mark.
And big-time coaching strategy by the staff right there, utilizing their bench, keeping fresh legs on that shooter consistently throughout the course of the game.
Now the Pacers going to use a timeout. That's their first. Leaves them with 1 remaining the rest of the way. Looks like some substitutions are coming on in. Victor Oladipo, and he buries it.
Consistency wins a game. Sometimes you have to double down. I'm sure that's what their coach told them to do in the locker room. Keep shooting your shot.
Now it's Harden, controlling the offense. The drive, right to the basket, to Capella. Yes, and a foul. He'll have a chance at a three-point play.
People become so fixated on the hands or the arms or the strengths of the arms. I look at the legs. The strength of his legs help him power through that play. That's how you get and ones.
The free throw, perfect. And the lead is up to 7. Into the front court comes Collison. The margin standing now at 7. Collison. Going to launch beyond the arc. Darren Collison shakes free from a tough matchup and buries it.
Well, the defense has been good, but the shot-making ability has been better. And sometimes for NBA players at this level, the more you're in their face, the more it helps them center their focus on the target, which is making the shot. I know it sounds weird, but trust me, it's a real thing.
And he's fouled. Very close. Free throws coming up.
This drives me nuts when I see fouls like that being called in a close game. Sometimes you just got to let them play, ref.
First one, count it. And gets both to drop at the line. Harden in possession. Up 6. Oh, you can't do that.
Ed, you can't lunge like that.
First free throw is good. 2 for 2 on that trip. Pacers with the possession. Easy path to the rim.
V.O., he may not be the superhero that Indy wanted, but he's definitely the one they need.
Count the basket inside.
Ooh, he teased me a little bit right there, but see, I like that. That's called a great entertainer, always leaving me on the edge of my seat.
Tucker. That'll get out off one of the Pacers. It stays with Houston. Anthony. To Capella. Perfect feed to set up the basket.
Well, we got a chance to firsthand watch something be created. I think we just watched an epidemic of passing. I've never seen something like this before. It was so contagious, everybody started to do it, and it ultimately led to the other team's demise.
If that's an epidemic, sign me up. Harden to P.J. Tucker. Shot clock to 4 for Houston. Finishing inside the paint on that one.
Ed, all this talk I heard over the summer, what about CP3's hamstring? Will he be able to get back his first step? Will he still have it? There you go.
To Collison. Jumper's good.
I tell you, he's so special, Ed. He makes the game look easy.
A lot of hard work to make it look easy. Pacers come up with it. Oladipo. It's good. Defense has to pick things up.
I know he's a volume shooter. I know defensively at times you have to take your lumps. Might be time to adjust the scouting report, though. Start denying him the ball.
Houston takes over.
I got him. Here we go. Here we go.
Paul. To P.J. Tucker. James Harden fires for 2. Harden shot, no good. Now a whistle, and Indiana is going to use a timeout as they dig into their bag of tricks, trying to draw up the game winner.
Oh, yeah, let's double.
15-footer for the win. Offensive board. Lays it up and in at the buzzer. Worked his way free, and he's won the game in the final second. This one to the Pacers. They continue their unbeaten run. Red hot to start the season. That'll wrap things up. For Jay Williams and our entire crew, I'm Ed Cohen. This has been a presentation of the NBA on EA Sports.